People always ask, what Bambu printer should I buy? To them, I answer, there is no single best printer. It really depends on budget, space, what you print, and how often you print. I own the A1 Mini, the A1, and the P1S. Each one of these machines I use for different reasons. This is non-sponsored content. I want you to get real-world use cases so that you can buy the right printer the first time. Let's get into it. But can new models exist? They sure do. Early revisions or refreshes sometimes come with unexpected add-ons. Looking at you, P2S, and your overpowered fan, these three are proven, and we know what their issues are, so we can tackle them. Most people don't outgrow their printers. They outgrow their expectations. Reliability and knowledge equal hype. I upgrade when there's knowledge, comfortability, improves workflow, and consistency. Not usually because it's new, unless you're the Snapmaker U1. So I upgrade when it makes sense. Unless there's a printer that makes sense and it's not here yet. But even then, I don't fully upgrade and add additional models until I know exactly what we're dealing with. So when we got the P1S, it was our first printer. And I didn't really know much about it. So I had to discover its maintenance, what issues were known, and what issues were not known. Proven machines can save you money and time. If there's knowledge out there on how to work on it and solve the issues, that's great. But what if you have an issue and it's not covered yet? That's not so great. So let's talk about the A1 Mini. Who is this printer good for? This printer is good for those that are just getting into the hobby, those that have a limited budget, and those that have small maker spaces. So why is it great? It's easy to use, excellent print quality for its size, and it's very affordable entry point. If you have the A1 Mini, you can check out its spa day here. Or if you have the AMS Lite with it, you can check out its spa day here. So now let's talk about some of its limitations. It's got the smallest build volume, and it's really not ideal for large functional parts. And its AMS unit is much more limited when it comes to maximizing your purge waste on the build plate. You get a smaller space and have the same amount of waste. If this is your entry into the 3D printing, this would be your best bet. Now let's talk about the P1S. This is our workhorse printer. We've got 3 of them here in the studio. They're constantly running, except for that one. It's getting ready for spa day. So who's it best for? It's best for those that are going to run a budget-friendly 3D print farm, those that love multicolor printing, and frequent long prints. So why does this printer shine so much? First of all, it's enclosed, so you get access to filaments that you can't normally print with without an enclosure, so like ABS. Second, the AMS units work really well. And third, it's the most reliable printer. You can go the furthest between maintenance periods with this printer. So that means more prints, less downtime. And if you have the P1S, you can check out its spa day here. So when doesn't it make sense to buy this printer? So when you're only printing occasionally, that'd be a better job for the A1 Mini. Second, if your budget is really tight, although with the new units coming out, the price has dropped on this unit very significantly, so it's even more accessible to those with lower budgets. And finally, it doesn't make sense to get this unit if you don't need an enclosure, if you don't need to print an ABS or any of the carbon fibers. This isn't my fun printer, this is my get stuff done printer. And finally, let's talk about the A1. And no, not the steak sauce. So this printer's got the best of both worlds. It's got the quick swap nozzle from the A1 series, but it's also got the build volume from the P1S, with a little bit extra because it doesn't have that exclusion area. It does now have AMS full compatibility, as does the A1 Mini, but it makes a little more sense to have it on the A1 because it's got the bigger build volume. And of course, it's got that overall Bambu reliability. And if you have the A1, you can check out our A1 spa day here. Or if you have an AMS or AMS 2 Pro, you can check out those spa days here. So let's talk about the trade-offs for this printer. The first one for me is that it takes up more space than the P1S. In reality, because the bed goes back and forth, it gets a little frustrating at times because it's got to take up all the workbench and then some past it because the bed's got to go all the way forward and all the way back. I've actually bumped into it a few times and threw off its alignment. Failed print. It's also not designed for those exotic out-of-the-box materials like carbon fiber or even things like ABS because it's not enclosed and therefore it can't keep that ambient temperature, which helps with warping off the build plate. So if I have to recommend one printer to most people, it would be the A1. If you don't have to worry about space, this is going to be the printer for you. But if you have a little bit more of a budget and less space, then the P1S might be a better choice for you because that takes up less footprint, but it is a slightly more expensive printer. And if you have low budget and little space, then the A1 Mini is going to make the most sense for you. If you have the AMS Lite, you can check out its spot here. So let's talk comparison for a little bit. The print quality across all three of these printers is pretty much spot on. I would say with the quick swap nozzles for the A1 and the A1 Mini, those have a little bit of more of an advantage than the P1S because that has a nozzle that cannot be quickly swapped. You have to take out screws, and it gets a little bit frustrating if you have a nozzle clog. Speed differences, they're pretty comparable, especially between the A1 and A1 Mini. Those pretty much have the same speeds because they have the same print head. The P1S is going to be slightly faster, at least in my experience, because of the print times in the slicers. It's got different motors in different ways. It goes a little bit faster. And for me, reliability matters most. So for us, that's why we have so many P1Ss, because those are the most reliable printers, in my opinion. I don't have to worry about running into the print bed, looking at you, A1. I don't have to worry about having too small of a build plate, looking at you, A1 Mini. I get the best of both worlds. Now, what I do have to worry about is that purge chute building up in the back. I don't have to worry about that with the A1 Mini or the A1 because they go in the basket on the side. When that purge chute builds up, that becomes a problem. Then that can lead to failed prints. So you have to figure out a purge system. That's what we did here. We have bins below our purge system. Go straight through the desk and into the purge bin. Nice and easy. When I first started 3D printing, I didn't know anything about printer maintenance. And that's where most of my print fails started happening because I thought I could just click and go. No, every once in a while, you got to take your printer to the spa. Other failed prints can come from wrong expectations. My printer is supposed to do this, but it really only does this. I'm supposed to be able to print with ABS, but I don't have an enclosed printer. So why is my PLA lifting off the print bed? Well, because it's too hot in my enclosed chamber. Looking at you, P1S. There's different things for different printers. So the most friendly printer, again, it's going to be the A1 Mini because it's the most budget friendly, most space saving, and it's got multicolor capability. You get best of both worlds, but a smaller build plate. Your A1 has the quick swap capability, multicolor, access to the AMS systems, not just the AMS Lite, but it has that movable print bed that you can sometimes bump into. And the P1S has that enclosed space, so you don't have to worry about bumping into your prints, but you got to worry about watching the purge chute in the back. So let's recap and see which printer is best for who. You have the A1 Mini, which is best for new printers, those with a budget, or those with small printing spaces. The P1S is for those that print a lot, that want to sell their prints at like local art fairs like we do, or that really want to have fun with those multicolor prints. And then finally, the A1 is the one that rules them all. It's got that quick swapping nozzle from the A1 Mini, and it has that print build volume like the P1S, but a little bit extra because it doesn't have that exclusion area. So drop it in the comments below on which printer you think is going to be best for you. If you haven't yet, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, because we have a lot more content coming up for the A1 and the A1 Mini for maintenance days. We also have content coming up for the SCOTUS system that you see behind me on the wall, as we're going to optimize our print flow area. So from spaghetti fails to glorious tales, I hope this information helps you find the right printer for you, and I'll see you in the next one. Be glorious.